you when you dance.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. In the spirit of Martin Luther King, I'm going to start off with my version today of I Have a Dream speech. I have a dream that every week people come for live prospecting. I have a dream that none of you ever get stuck on what to say to a client, how to follow up, how to reach out. I have a dream that proactively you take ownership of your business and this becomes a habit every day. I have a dream that through collaborative learning and being more thoughtful of how we do things, we're going to learn the marketing, the messages, the reach outs that work best for everybody so everyone can grow faster together. So what are these live prospecting sessions? Well, welcome to the new people in our community and welcome back to our tried and true community members who've been with us, for many of you, for years. And so when I think about live prospecting, this is a place where you show up, turn your camera on, you still see a whole bunch of black screens, business meetings, and you actually proactively prospect. I know that if you just showed up here once a week and did something over the course of the year, you would have more business, right? So I'm going to go through a variety of different methods. And a lot of today and these sessions are not going to be me talking the whole time. It's going to be taking action. So I know, and I can go to sleep good at night knowing that at minimum once a week, everyone's going to be doing 30 minutes of prospecting. So when you're doing prospecting, this is an income producing activity. Income producing activities is defined by us at Chirag Shah Coaching is the proactive action of creating new business that does not exist today. So if you're going on a listing appointment, it's not an income producing activity. If you're negotiating a deal, it's not an income producing activity. See, 3 to 4 months from now, there's a future self of you, Hillary, that says, please do something today. I need you to work today so I have income. If you look at people's businesses and they go on these waves, who's ever had a wave in their business, right? Everyone, including me that's been an agent, can raise your hand. You can go back and look at your schedule 3 to 4 months before that, and you can see the lack of proactive income producing activities. So what I want you to do is there's several different ways of doing this. And I'm going to show you for my friends on the West Coast, I'm going to open up my Compass platform really quickly and just show you this magic button called Send All Later. It was a lot simpler, but I don't know why it says Send All Later. It could be very confusing. So give me 1 second here. Oops. You see this button right here that says Send All Later? You can actually schedule when your emails go out. So,
I don't
Chirag,
see
I
it.
don't see it.
yeah, you're not, yeah. Try
Oh,
resharing your
take a
screen.
tap.
Nothing sharing.
There
is
we
it
go.
working now?
Yep,
Okay,
yep.
perfect. If you go into messages, there's the Send All Later button. So if you're on the West Coast, don't worry, you're not going to be sending people emails at 6:30 in the morning. Just schedule them out. So you'll want to start thinking about how do you want to proactively communicate with people. If you're on the East Coast, you can just reach out to people and say, hey, I just want to wish you a happy new year. You know, how's your family? How's work? Do you have anything planned exciting for the years or anything you're working on that can support you on the forward model? So we know if you contact 5 people a day, that's 25 people a week, 100 people a month, 10 months out of the year, which gives you 2 full months off of days that you don't have to do this. That's 1,000 conversations at a 1% conversion rate, the same as sending random mail to strangers. There's 10 transactions there. If you want to write handwritten notes, this is a great place to write handwritten notes to people. Even if you want to reach out to other colleagues that are not in our program, don't talk to each other here. You can do that outside of the call. You can do that. So what I want you all to do now is, whether it's through email, text, making a video in Video Studio, start prospecting. If you have a question that says, hey, I have a client or a person, I don't really know what to say to them, drop it in the chat and I'll give you an answer. If I have to type something, I'll type it up. Sound good? All right, so 1, 2, 3, go. And again, if you have a question or you don't know what to do or don't know what to say or need a message, drop it in the chat. I have the chat open and I'm ready to work for you. Yes, Parker. Ideally, past clients SOI. Here's the Robert Refkin notes library. If anyone wants to write handwritten notes, you can just click there and there's a whole bunch of templates that Robert and I had put together. We made the Robert Refkin Agent Action Plan. Andrew, I think we'll add music to these going forward. What do you guys think? Thumbs up? I put some music on in the background. Now, when you start thinking about bulk mail, you want to subcategorize your clients and set Google alerts for interest. Like if you have a bunch of gym fanatics, if you send them gym information, they'll be really happy. Just know I'm like clicking the buttons, looking around the screen to make sure everyone's being active. No worries, Carrie. It's what we're doing is email, notes, calling, just proactive outreach to past clients and spheres of influence. Here, Elise, hold on. Let me give you a better message. You can edit the message out in this. It's a little older, right? So if I were writing a message for looking for inventory, you want to ask people a question. You know, I would say, Dear Elise, Happy New Year. As I was leaving my financial planner, reviewing the equity in my portfolio, I was thinking of you and wondering if you'd want something similar to your home. The real estate market has changed over the last 12 months and be happy to provide a complimentary equity analysis. If it's something you're interested in, please let me know. P.S. No need to respond. I know you're really busy. Look forward to connecting soon. By the way, just putting in those P.S. No need to respond. I know you're really busy. Looking forward to connect soon. It takes all the obligation off the other party to have to respond. Who else has a question? Julia Duncan, how can I help you? Yeah, I click all the screens. I look around at everybody. I'm like, who needs help? Jessica, how can I help you? I'm sending my 2023 client documents for tax files. It's a clever way to weave a referral reminder in. Yes. Okay. So for anyone that wants a referral reminder, remember, when you have a relationship with somebody, people will want to help you with your commitments. So in your closing, you could put a PS or at the bottom of your signature says, I made a commitment in 2024 to help blank amount of people and families make a move. Who do you know I can help? That's it. Right. So I would say, I made a commitment to help 24 families or people make a move in 2024? Who do you know I can help? So, Elise, with actual proactive ongoing outreach and having more of a systematic approach to this, people realize that you want business, and let your commitment drive those referrals. And when you have a conversation that's focused 100% on the other party, at some point, they're going to ask you, hey, what's going on with you, Chirag? Like, how can I help you and everything else? And very casually, just say, I made a commitment to help 20 families or people make a move in 2024. If you ever think anyone I could help, please let me know. And then continue the conversation. We have to get into this relationship mindset of prospecting. And prospecting for referrals for friends and family is an ongoing effort. That's a campaign. If Chanel was doing a campaign for friends and family referral, it'd be a proactive process over a stipulated period of time with marketing and messaging. Yes, Thalia, everything we have is recorded and uploaded into our platform. So if you finish your assessment, you have platform access. If you have not finished your assessment, there's a great office hours you can go to. We can answer any questions you have and try to get it done today. See, the best part of these sessions is like one of the most powerful forces in money is compound interest. Well, I think one of the most powerful forces in prospecting is compound intent and compound results. Compound results are, as time goes on, we're going to have messages next week that says, I sent this message and I got a listing appointment. I sent this message and I got a referral. And then we're able to collect and share those messages on an ongoing basis. People are going to have access to more and more things that they can just copy, paste, and do. See Parker jamming away with her fingers. I see Dawn has her head down. Looking for somebody making calls right now. Who's going to make a call? I see a lot of people turn their cameras off. Rob Del Greco, good to see you here, my man. If it's -8 and -6, and it's Martin Luther King Day, a lot of people are home. So this is a great way to actually call and talk to people. So Parker, I would say Happy New Year. I hope you and your family are doing well. I was thinking about you recently and realized it's been some time since we last spoke. Based on your personal goals for the year, what's one specific thing I could do to support you? Have a specific ask. Don, I'm 100% with you on the calls and the Ford model. Ninja is one coaching methodology that I very much am in alignment with because it's like an organized system on being a human being, right? It's a relationship driven thing. And just remember for everyone here that just feels awkward calling people, just remember there was a time in these people's lives where they had boundaryless sharing with you, right? Boundaryless sharing. They talk about their friends, their families, their hopes, their needs, their desires, their spouse, all kinds of stuff. So just reaching out to people and just continuing that conversation and not being weird about it's okay. And if you haven't talked to them in a while, just say, hey, I drove by your house the other day and I was thinking about you, how was your house during the holidays or something related back that you can remember back to when they bought a home with you. And this is why it's so important to take notes and log your activities into your CRM. So when you want to go back and refer to something, you have it. If you don't know what to say to these people, go on their Facebook or go on their Instagram and look at what they shared recently. And I could reach out and say, hey, Susie, I saw that your son just had an amazing baseball game that you're really excited to share. I just wanted to call and congratulate you. And how's the start of 2024 been? And start a conversation, right? Because you have to remember one thing about social media. It is a proactive share in something that's really meaningful in someone else's life. Like for those of you who are new and the people that are here, people know I'm obsessed with sunrises and sunsets. So if someone starts sending me pictures of sunrises and sunsets, I'm very, very easily to get into a conversation with them. If you have not read the book Unreasonable Hospitality, I suggest you do. It'll really help you in these conversations in your business. And Brad Coy runs a really great accountability group or a book club on it. Kate, for a subject line, I would write, how can I support your goals in 2024? So here's to piggyback on Dawn's comment. If you don't have somebody's anniversary, their birthday, their kids' birthdays, and you see something in social media, listen, remember, we're looking to build quantifiable businesses that last multiple decades. So if you see that my son's birthday is on a certain day, I would put a note in the CRM that it's that day. You could send a birthday card out shortly after, or next year, put a task to do so. Unreasonable hospitality, Megan. So like picture these sessions as having me literally in your pocket where I can answer any question you have at any time. If you have sunsets, send them to Chirag at ChiragShahCoaching.com. See, now I'm going to build a relationship with Ellen because she's going to send me sunsets. And like we have a picture outside that's like a dock that has a sunrise, and depending on the time of day, it changes. So look to see what people are interested in and how you can engage with them on their terms. Okay, so here's to Dahlia's point. And this is the most important thing to understand about past clients marketing. All relationships in our mind are predefined in the context that we know them to be. So I'll give you an example. I used to go to the gym at 4:15 in the morning. There's about 12 to 15 people that were my gym friends. And I had one friend, he was John, he was probably in his late 60s. So to all of us that were in our early 30s, he called us all kids, gave us great advice and everything else. And one morning we're eating breakfast. He says, "Hey kid, let me ask you a question." He goes, "When are you going to send me some real estate deals?" And I kind of looked at him. He's like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "I do have a job outside of here. I don't just come in my gym clothes at 4 in the morning." And I was like, oh my God, like I never thought of him that way, right? Because every day the context of my relationship with him was seeing him at the gym, right? And that happens to many of us. So when a relationship goes from defined to undefined, it becomes confusing. So at the closing, your relationship becomes defined to undefined. You don't know how to interact with the people, and they don't know that you're supposed to call, email, potentially send them gifts, invite them to events, and anything else like that. So you have to have the extend the relationship conversation. That's a beautiful dog there. And so how does this work? At the peak point in the transaction, when they're happiest with you, right? So if it's a buyer, it might be when they have their clear to close and they're going to close, right? And this is again why taking notes is so important. So I would say, who brought this up? Dawn. I'd say, hey, Dawn, I just want to say that I was grateful for the opportunity of partnering with you and purchasing your home. But not only that, that you opened up and shared, and then I insert a lot of like the things they shared that were personal. And I'm going to stop. And they say, Chirag, was really great because I believe sharing goes two ways. And sure, Dawn, a lot of you share about your kids, your family, some of your own stuff too. If not, it's just weird and it doesn't feel very much like a relationship. And they'll share some things back. And then I would turn around, and this is where all the money is. I would say, hey, would it be okay if I continue to stay in touch? And this is where you insert your value proposition. Once a month, we reach out to share new restaurants, things that happen in the community. And we also know that since we live in the community, work in the community, we can provide additional resources where you don't have to just essentially look on the internet for strangers, for services, parties, and things like that. And like figure out, be very clear on like what your communication is over the year. And 99% of people are going to say that would be great. We really appreciate staying in touch with you. Because think about this, for all these other months, they call, email, text you, and talk about all kinds of things. In America, that's just called having a relationship, having a friendship, right? And now you have them expecting your call or email or whatever it is every month. It's really simple. There are also people that are like, you know what? Like, I really appreciate that. When I need another home or I need something, I'll let you know. I'm just not looking for that kind of thing, but don't take it. And then you just let them go. You're not sending them emails and stuff that they don't want, right? You're not calling them and things they don't want. And just say, hey, look, sometimes we have events. I'm just going to invite you to our events. If you want to come, come. If not, no worries. But you're part of our community, and we want to make sure that we offer the same things to you as everyone else. And let them define the boundary. The next thing is stop. STOP. Stop sending everyone every one of your just listed, just sold. And the worst email to send people that you've actually worked with are your price reduction emails. It is raising your hand and say, I did not do my job right the first time, and now I've dropped the price. Don't do it. Instead of price reduction, call it a price improvement and send it to people who care. I'm in Westport, Connecticut. I don't care about your price reductions and your listings all around the country. You're literally spamming my email and either making me or someone else I'm paying money to have to go on and delete them. Like this, if you look at this whole NAR lawsuit, one of the biggest things is we have to be mindful of our relationships, our brands, and what we send people. All right. So, Robbie, if you're putting the two things together, right, I would send a subject line that says, I have a gift for you. I would say, Dear Chirag, Happy New Year's. I was thinking about you and your family over the holidays, and to kick off the New Year's, I got a small gift for you. Please let me know what would be a good time to drop by, to come by and drop it off. I don't need much of your time. I know you're busy. Looking forward to seeing you soon, Chirag. And then when I went by, I would drop the gift and everything else. And I would just nicely say, hey, Shrug, with all the changes in the real estate market, I was leaving my financial planner thinking how crazy it would be to work with somebody if I didn't even have an annual review. It's a complimentary analysis that we want to do for our best clients or the people we have the best relationships, the ones we value the most. Would it be okay? And always use the word, would it be okay? Because it makes the other person feel as if they're in control. Would it be okay if I just put together a complimentary equity analysis for you and your family, just so you have an update on your home? And you'll find most people say yes. Keep asking. I can come up with these things all day long. And that's the whole benefit of this live prospecting. I figured this was the best way at scale to like tap into my brain, write messages. And look, for one person that asks a question, there's 20 other people that have not or want to ask the same question that don't. No, don't. It takes away from the gift, Robbie. Don't prepare it ahead of time. Because if they don't want it, you don't want to spend time on it. And remember, the whole point of sharing this, right? There's a thing of framing the conversation, sharing something you're going to do in the context of something that's based on their current belief system, right? Would you ever work with a financial planner that didn't review your portfolio with you once a year? It'd be crazy, right? And for many people, a home is worth far more than like a financial portfolio. Dawn, the insurance is, by the way, I'm going to give Dawn collaborator MVP of the day today. So Dawn, you dropped a lot of good nuggets in here. Yeah, underinsurance is a big thing. I actually just reinsured a house that I own. as we just did an appraisal on it. It was underinsured by several $100,000. So for those of you, hey, we're providing a lot of people a complimentary equity analysis as the value of their home has changed over the last several years in many different ways, just to verify, one, the amount of equity you have, and two, that you have the right amount of insurance. Holly, you send an e-blast to people once a week. What should I do? Well, look, number one, people, you have to first segment the people. Not everyone wants everything, right? If you're a buyer and you move into a community, I generally find there are three things you want to do: explore, experience, dine. Where can I go? What can I do? And what's the best food? So I would start putting tags and segmenting these people into areas. And if you're going to share information, be very mindful of what you share. And I always look at people's weekly email campaigns as like TV shows. You could be like Curb Your Enthusiasm, where it's like one episode to the next makes no sense. You could be an episode of 24, where one continues on to the other. So the question that I always ask myself is, before we're going to send an email, is why should somebody open this and what value am I adding? And so if you're thinking through this, it's like, what do you want somebody to think when they open your email? How do you want them to feel? What's the emotional tone in the messaging? And what do you want them to do? So don't just send emails for the sake of sending emails. Yes, an equity analysis is a CMA. So Abby, I would know what an equity analysis is, but if you were like, hey, can I have like would you like a complimentary CMA? These are like acronyms that we know. Dahlia, are you on our platform? So go into the platform, download the Compass Tech video, and download the email template that goes with it, and send that prior to your listing pitch. And make sure you do the Med C. So we're going to be doing pre-qualifying buyers this afternoon, where we'll go through it more in detail. But it's the same process for buyers and sellers. But the most important aspect of any relationship is how it starts, is how it goes. So when you meet somebody where they are and you start a conversation that says, hey, Chirag, I'd like to ask you a few really important questions so we could solely focus our time together on our conversations on what's most important to you. Would that be okay? Who's going to say no to that? The thing that they hear, solely focus on the conversations that are important to me. Sally, what is the goal of this text message? And if you haven't talked to them in a while, I would send a video if you feel comfortable doing so. And if you don't feel comfortable, I would do it anyway.
The goal
Just
is,
don't keep, what's that?
oh, I was just going to answer your question. The goal is to make contact with them because I've been seeing them on AI. And I know that they're one of my, what's it called? You know, the people that are likely to. Mm-hmm. And I just haven't reached out to them in a while. So I'm sending her a text now. I just wanted to.
So I would just send a thing that says, hey, over the weekend, I was driving by your house and I was thinking about you. It's been a while since we last connected. How are you and your family doing? And that's it. But if you feel comfortable making a video, number one, for everyone making a video, don't ever watch your videos. I have hundreds of hours of video. I don't watch any of them. And if I did watch them, I hate the way I look and I hate the way I sound, so I would never do anything. But if I was doing this through video, I would say, hey, Sally, it's Chirag. Happy 2024. I was driving by your house. I was in your neighborhood and I drove by your house the other day and I was just thinking about you. Just want to check in and see how you and your family are doing and how the start of your 2024 has been. Looking forward to connecting soon. And that's it. Because with video, people can hear the tonality of your voice, the physiology of your body language. Sherry, that's a great message. And you could actually send that through video as well, too.
Chirag, do you think this is appropriate? It's Mavis. Good morning.
Morning.
7 o'clock in the morning over here. So I have this client that I haven't talked to in ages and ages. And one of the things, his sale always comes up when I'm helping somebody else, when I'm giving them advice. It's one of those crazy things that happen. Do you think it's appropriate for me to say, I'm always using your sale as a a teaching point with younger agents, something like that? Do you think that's too weird?
So I would send a subject line that says thinking of you, because like, be like, happy 2024. How are you and your family doing? I always find myself going back to our experience together and sharing
Ah,
blank, blank with other people as it was blank, blank, blank. I know you're busy, no need to respond, but just know that you're always in my thoughts. And if there's anything I could help you with personally with any of the goals that you have in 2024, I'm happy to help.
okay. I like that. Our experience together. Okay.
Listen, I'm going to say this to all of you. Use me more on our team here, right? We're here to help you. And what I find is if we can give you the words, the scenario, the context, it becomes really easy to hit the button. But in my mind, I have a dream speech is I see a lot of people picking up their phone and calling people. Amy Dessel, you're right down the street, so we'll see you here in person sometimes. One day I'm going to invite a bunch of you here in the morning that all want to call people. I already feel brave. Perfect. All right, look, that is the end of our time today. We have another live prospecting session in the afternoon. So I would encourage all of you to join again. Like, what better investment into yourself and your business than spending an hour every Monday in prospecting? Is a video email better than calling? It depends who your clients are. If they're millennials, you might want to send a video, as they just don't like talking to people on the phone, which I still never understand. But just doing something is the win. All right, hit yes if you did one proactive action today. Amazing. Well, as always, with love in my heart, I love you all. We'll be on this afternoon, I believe, at 11:30 to go through buyer pre-qualifying. And then we'll be back at 12:30 to do another live prospecting session. So if you find yourself wanting more of this, which I all think you should, because this is what drives the income lever in your business, come back, right? If I'm you, I would commit to 2 sessions on Mondays, to prospecting. If you spend an hour here today, it's going to be such a great start to your week because you're going to get responses and you will get business out of doing this. Pre-listing is at 8:30 a.m. Pacific today. All right, everybody. If you have time after this, keep going. Don't just stop. I'll see you all later this afternoon. Bye, everybody.